Darkness and inky black ocean, as far as the eye can see. And so very small in the scope of this everlasting darkness is a singular ship, crafted of wrought iron and patched with steel. The wretched shade rocks unsteadily in the water, dimly lit by a scant few lamps shifting around on board. Off the starboard side, a machine whirs to life. It is the size of a buoy and plummets into the unsettlingly still waters. The only bright light in the whole expanse of the void sea, the electroplasmic lure sparks bright with the energy of life. Under the water, it sings the inconceivable siren song of leviathans. In minutes, the lights on board are startled into action to the tune of a boatswain's call, as it is underscored by a blood-chilling wail that disturbs the surface of the water. A swell lifts the ship from underneath, and from deep, deep, deep in the dark ocean, the Leviathan crests the surface, its back as long as the horizon. Welcome to the Fool's Chronicle. I am Sean Tumboken Flowers, your GM.
I'm Olivia Manning. I play Ivanka Dove.
I'm Dylan Manning. I play Marai the Storm Cardera.
And I'm Ren French, and I play Orlin Wright.
Before we get into things today, I just want to mention that it's been, I would say, 1.5 million years since we've
approximately an entire
this.
Jurassic period. I have had nightmares about this session. It has given me genuine anxiety. I am so afraid.
So, you don't even know what's happening.
I know we're at war!
Yeah, you guys are at war.
It'll be fine.
I was so happy because last session I started working on a character voice finally, and now it's gone. It's been so long.
It's gone.
Well, it's been a calendar, like, not even a calendar year, but it's been like a month at least since
I think
we've
it's been at
recorded,
least 2.
I forgot
I
we
hope
were at
everyone's
war.
taking notes.
You forgot?
I never forgot it. I never forgot it.
No, I don't remember much, but I remember we're at war.
I remember raw bird destruction and not war.
Well, we're at war, and there's some raw bird destruction. Speaking of Orlin.
So speaking of...
You were part of it.
Orlin, you find yourself walking to the edge of a canal. You're here to meet your mentor, and you know he'll be here soon because he's been running the same route for the last 4 decades. Like clockwork, as the bell chimes for the hour of silver, you see him. Your Nauduk's Leopold Tale sails calmly through the channel, and with practiced ease, docks to the water's edge.
I'm gonna walk up to him. I forget if we established, do I refer to him as Naudix?
I think that is your character choice.
Okay.
Entirely.
And
We've talked about this, like, off mic, but I've decided there's this apprentice-master relationship with, like, those in the gondoliers, and they call each other, Naudukes, Naudis, and so you are his, like, apprentice. Or you were when you were in the gondoliers. I should mention, this guy is, like, 20 years your senior.
the oldest man to ever live in Duskfall.
Dust.
Maybe the oldest man in all of Duskfall. He's like, what, 80-something at this point? And he's kicking somehow.
And can I get his name one more time?
Leopold Tale.
Writing that down for later.
Mm-hmm. So he's docks to the water's edge, and as you approach, he turns to you and he goes, "Well, come on, Minaudis. We have work to do." And he extends his rowing oar to you. "You still remember how to row, yes?"
You know I hate it when you call me that. But yes, of course.
As you set off, I'm very interested. Orlin's kind of lived a lot of lives in his time, and we've decided that he was in Gondolier at some point. What was that like?
It was something that Orlin started because he had the skills for it, but he did not like the more structured reflection of the gondoliers. Not a fan. As for why he ended up leaving, he kind of grew. He didn't grow out of it per se, but it wasn't the right fit for him, so he decided to move on. He wanted to find a different purpose.
Nice. Then as you're kind of reminiscing, you come back for that, and you see Leopold sitting at the front of the gondola, and you see him looking down at a spirit mask. It's matte black, like the standard gondolier spirit mask, and he kind of turns around in his hand, and he goes, "We have a while more to go, Minautis. What troubles you?"
A lot. But aside from the usual turmoil, I am worried.
Yeah. Orlin Wright, worried now.
Yeah. I've only ever had to live for myself. And you fail that, no real consequences, you're dead in a gutter somewhere. I have responsibilities to other people now. How... Maybe this is my way of asking how I can keep them safe.
He kind of sits back and stares at you, and then stares kind of upwards and thinks for a moment. He puts down the spirit mask, and that's when you realize it's not his spirit mask, it's yours. Your old spirit mask from when you were in the gondoliers. And he kind of sits back, he looks at you, and he goes, "Do you remember the tales of Melosi?
Of course. I couldn't forget.
After a gruesome job, you asked me, how does Melosi's tale end? And I said, you weren't ready to know." And he stops looking outwards and turns to look at you. And he goes, "Melosi saved the town of Fallen's Deep, slain 100 demons, and banished 1,000 ghosts. But his story's end is such. He happened upon a child, no taller than his blade, and took them in. Melosi had never thought of family, and took no companions but those he traveled with, but he gifted the child a lantern, and said, 'While you may bask in the light of this lantern, I will protect you,' and hung it at his doorstep. And in that home he lived out the rest of his days." And he crosses the gondola towards you and puts his hand on your shoulder and goes, "There is no shame, Minautis, in protecting something, no matter the cost." And he points to the lantern hanging off the front of his boat, and he goes, "By that light I navigate the canals of Duskwall, and by that light it is my charge, was our charge, to keep Duskwall safe."
Aye.
And he just sits back down.
Not as gory an ending as I thought it would be, if I'm being honest. Thank you, Naudux.
And he nods.
I think you'd be proud of my mask, by the way.
It's a bit gaudy. You all find yourselves in Strangford House once again. Drinks in front of each of you, and Lord Strangford reclining in a chair across from you all. He says, "I'm glad Irmina could find you all on such short notice. You see, a situation has come to my attention among the noble houses of my Leviathan Hunter. I was wondering if you could solve another problem for me."
What's the problem?
Lord Strangford tosses a stack of papers on the table in front of you, and he goes, "I've heard from an informant that Claremont House has recently acquired the Leviathan hunting route of another noble house. I don't like this kind of infighting among my ranks, so I plan to teach Claremont House a lesson." And he places his finger on a charcoal sketch of a man in his late 20s. "This is Varn Claremont. son of Aldrich Claremont, and the next in line to inherit Claremont House. You are going to make an example of Varen.
I would like to flashback right now.
Okay. This is exciting.
How did we get here?
You are in a cab with Iramina on the way to Strangford House. She is, on, like, the front of the carriage, but you're, like, and so she's, like, kind of directing the cabbie where to go.
Cool.
And you're, in the carriage itself.
All right, so we're sort of bumping along this road. So, do we tell him? Because I seriously doubt that he's bringing us to his wonderful house to go, "Oh, Ivanka, Storm, Orlan, you are at war with the Grey Cloaks. I want to give you $1 million so that you can bust them on their asses." He doesn't know. So, do we tell him?
Why? How does it help us?
Well, for starters, he doesn't like the Grey Cloaks any more than we do. So, I wonder... We probably don't have enough clout for this, but... Say that we explain the situation to him very calmly, and we say that... Essentially, we need some help, and if he's not willing to give it to us... Then we walk up to the Grey Cloaks and ask what we can do to minimize this conflict. And I'm going to guess that whatever they say, he probably won't be a huge fan of?
This is an interesting suggestion.
Too-
However,
Too risky?
they would kill us immediately.
This is true. This is true. I would like to be at war with the Grey Cloaks for as little time as possible. I don't care how we get there.
Don't we want Strangford to think we're strong?
I mean, strength means very little when you're an unidentifiable hunk of meat in a back alley, yeah?
That was such a fucking gory way to say strength doesn't matter when you're dead. You are a strange old man. I feel like I don't say that enough. You
That
suck.
will be written on my tombstone.
Who's getting you a tombstone?
You know what, Storm? Thank you very much.
Alright, so we don't tell
I
him?
don't see how it helps us. It just makes us seem like we can't handle our own battles.
Can we handle this
Probably
battle?
not.
Exactly.
We could call it a plan B.
Okay, fine. We see how hard this is. Whatever he's asking us to do, we consider everything, and if it really seems like the Grey Cloaks are going to wheedle their way into our plans, then we maybe spill the beans. Agreed?
Fine by me.
Works.
Fine.
So, back to this moment. He, points to the documents and is waiting expectantly for an answer.
Where would he be?
He has a factory in Coleridge. You could find him at his home, but one time while out drinking, he once told me he couldn't be touched within those walls, and I just love to prove nobles wrong.
Something we have in common.
I'm going to be frank with you, Strangford. Is there more in it for us if we prove him wrong? Or is it just an ego boost?
4 coin in total.
Regardless, or...
2 for a killing, 2 for... Let's call it my impressed fee.
Well, I guess we better get cracking.
As you start to get up to leave, he pauses and he kind of pulls out a coin purse from inside his coat. He goes, "I've heard that you've taken on Lady Drake as an envoy.
We have.
I don't do deals with her, but I'll pay you the extra coin up front." And he hands this coin purse to you.
Thank you.
This is the part where we scout, right?
So for now, we have entered our information gathering phase. that I recently learned we've been doing kind of
Doing
wrong.
incorrectly for the past, 8 episodes?
Yeah. Whoops.
Whoops.
It's okay, we didn't do the information gathering in every episode.
That's so true. We only did it twice. There's like a set of questions you can ask. For
It is
this.
at the bottom of the page. We are all idiots.
It's there.
It's on the character sheets. We just didn't look at them.
We all skimmed it.
So, what are we doing for our downtime? So, additionally,
Not downtime, right?
Not downtime.
Yes. Additionally, the information you have on this guy is just a general, rap sheet on this guy, Varin.
Mm-hmm.
And then blueprints of the factory that he works in.
So, he was telling us that it would be better to kill him in his house or in the factory. Okay.
In his house.
That's what I thought.
It'll be easier to kill him in his home or outside of the factory, but
Oh, really?
you'll make more money if you kill him
Okay, I thought you said...
at the factory.
Here's my thing. I think that we should sort of infiltrate our... You two look like you could work in a... What kind of factory is this, Sean?
A Leviathan Leviathan blood processing plant.
Okay, so you did steal a Dishonored level. Cool.
You guys are gonna be so mad at me because I'll give
It's
you guys.
literally-
It literally
it's the
is.
exact
So
fucking
basically,
thing. It's the exact fucking thing.
Guys, this is the map. It's on
Oh
the
my
roll
Oh my
plan.
god.
You're
I just
kidding.
kind of
Wait a minute.
No.
Yeah, that's
Sean has... Guys,
The way that you had to edit it.
this is an
God.
audio medium, so we have to say it out loud. Sean has now pulled up a map from a Dishonored level. Like, I can see the
Yeah,
Dishonored...
but the map for Varen's factory should not say Slaughterhouse Interior on the top.
No, yes.
Interior.
Sean's wrong for that. I'm just saying...
Hey!
Sean, would you call us the Knife of Dunbar?
Maybe the Knife of Duskfall?
Kind of
The Knives of Dustfall. Oh my god, you literally changed it so it went from whale oil to Leviathan blood on the legend.
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, anyway. I think that our best course of action here is to make it look like an accident, right? He falls into his own equipment or
I don't
whatever.
think so. We're supposed to teach him a lesson.
I would like to clarify. Strangford is asking you to do murder.
Okay, active
murder.
I love when people ask us to
Okay.
do murder.
Yes.
It's very fun for Storm specifically.
Not like accident or
It
disappearance.
is not very
This is a
fun for
murder.
me specifically. It is our job. It is our preferred job for all of us.
So, you two look like you could work at a sort of Leviathan blood refinery.
Hey, Sean, this is a world clarification because do we have a feeling that it's generally true, or is Ivanka just being classist again?
I think that Storm probably.
Okay, do you have to be young to work at this kind of stuff?
Actually, I think both of you probably could fit the bill. I don't know if Orlin has like the muscles to kind of do the heavy lifting.
Storm has the fucking muscles.
But maybe Storm.
Yeah, so my thought is that there are a couple routes to this. I don't know, make it so that, and I'm just, spitballing ideas. The information we gather will change this. But, Storm is a worker on the Leviathan plant, or whatever. And I don't know, Orlin is some sort of supervisor that catches them doing something nasty, and is like, we have to go talk to the big boy about this. And, and then they go up to his office and Storm fucking kicks his ass. I don't know. This feels deeply hands-off for me.
My skill set, shockingly, would put me at more of an advantageous position to be management than to move stuff
Yes,
around,
you-
which is
you-
wild.
You are old as shit. This is a known fact about you.
Okay.
You were once young and tough.
Sean, looking at the blueprints, how many entrances are there? What about it makes it so no one can touch me in here?
You looking at these blueprints, you're not really sure. There is a there's an entrance through shipping. Probably another entrance. So there's a few different sections here. If you want to play along at home, you can just look up the Bundry Rothwild Slaughterhouse from Dishonored, Knife of Dunwall, and play along at home. So through the shipping entrance, there is a entryway there, and probably another one. Wow, I have to place this probably around where they store the Leviathan blood, would be my guess.
Okay.
My biggest concern is if Orlin is posing as management, people tend to know management more than they tend to know floor workers. And could go, hey, you don't work here?
Yes, and Orlin can't talk his way out of things famously, I feel like.
I would say...
I don't know. Do I look like I
No.
could be management of an oil? Yeah, exactly. So it has
I
to
could
be him.
grime you up enough to make you look like management.
I don't look tough enough.
Management
my
doesn't touch
problem.
anything. You should know that the higher-ups don't do real work. Dove, if you feel confident in the role of supervisor, which you kind of are at this point already, I could grimy you up enough you could pass.
Does that feels smarter in terms of if someone was like, hey, you don't work here. I can probably shimmy my way out of that better than you can.
I'd love to push us towards information
right.
gathering. I feel like we've
Actual
had some
information
general
gathering.
ideas
Oh,
for
yeah.
what we're doing, but I feel like you guys would benefit deeply from having more information.
Yeah. I would Storm. Do you think that there's maybe anyone at the docks, at your little fighting ring, that might be connected in some way to a worker at this plant?
I can reach
What
out.
are the chances of
Most
that?
of them work at the docks, so they won't work at the factory. But
what do they do with the docks?
I mean, yes, they would have connections to the factory in some way. I'll talk.
Storm, you do know that where you live, Char Hollow, a lot of the people in Char Hollow work
I'm
in
not
Coleridge.
passing along that is where I think that connection is. But
yeah,
I
where
will
you
go talk
live.
to people and see what's up. Hey, Dove. Would it lend an air of, were we given, like, a time limit on this?
Oof. Yes.
I'm sorry, I
I'll
asked.
say yes. You, Stringford mentioned before you left, I'm saying retconning now, that Leviathan hunting season begins in a week.
Ugh!
So that's your timetable.
Would it lend us more credibility if
Alright.
I, got a job there?
if you
Because I'm
worked
sure,
a couple
I'm
shifts,
sure
hell
they're
yes.
always hiring.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a gross profession.
Listen, I have no
absolutely.
qualms about blood, be it mine, someone else's,
And we'd probably
a
and we'd make
Leviathan's.
money.
someone else's.
We could ostensibly someone else's. Yeah, I mean, if you can find the connection to get you a fucking job there, I mean, hell yes. And then, maybe you steal some uniforms on the sly.
I know what my plan is, so I'm gonna go ask around.
Hey, Storm, stay safe. Don't lose a hand, please. You need those.
When have I ever stayed safe?
Hello, this is the Fool's Chronicle News Report. I'm your under-the-weather weatherman, Sean Tumbokenflowers, and I have some messages for you. In the forecast, you're looking at joining the Fool's Chronicle on Patreon. On there, we do talkback episodes that talk about all the things that make this show tick, from the music to the editing to the Fools. There's no better time to follow the Fools Chronicle on Twitter and Instagram at Fools Chronicle. We've been up to all sorts of goofy things on there, especially on the Twitter, so don't miss out. Thank you for listening to the Fools Chronicle episode 8. Our next episode comes out in 2 weeks on May 24th, so I'll see you then.
Alright, from the estate, I'm gonna go towards the docks, but then once I'm out of eyesight, I'm gonna, like, loop through the docks back to Charles.
Okay.
Is it just as soon as just in case we're watching?
It's a thing. I think that normally when I go to 6 towers, I go by way of the docks, and by that I mean out of the way. Fully out of the way.
I think...
As far as I'm concerned, you live in a hole in the ground. I don't know where you live. I have a home. I pay a mortgage. I'm 42 years old.
And a taxpayer. So what are you doing in Char Hollow?
So do I know
Storm.
anyone who works in... I'm sure I know someone who works in the factory. You said a lot of people there do.
Make up a boy,
Oh, God.
Dylan. Make up a boy.
You probably... I feel like you don't know, like, someone specifically who, like, comes to mind who's like, yes, they're always complaining about the fact they work in Varen's factory. I imagine
Would your parents know? Would your parents know?
I'm gonna ask my dad. Who's a barkeep. And where else would someone go to complain about working in the factory?
Storm dad, storm dad, storm dad, storm dad.
Alright, fuck yeah.
Hey, Pa.
Hey, what's up, kiddo?
You know how you're always talking about everyone complaining about their job all the time? By complaining about your job all the time?
Hey, I gotta complain to someone. And my wife, she hates it.
Yeah, I know why she does.
Yeah, yeah, it's because she works the same jobs.
Does anyone come to mind that is complaining about the Claremont factories recently?
Claremont factories, actually, not in my place, but remember when you were younger and we always go to Nogs?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I've been, hearing some scuttlebutt about, guys, having trouble.
Alright. Down by Nogs?
I think you and me, a good old-fashioned drinking competition at Nogs, slam 'em.
I mean...
I'll drink you under the table, son.
Okay, we're fucking doing this.
Hey! Nogs is this tavern, the middle of this kind of Severosi community. And so a lot of people congregate there. And as you walk in, kind of at the bar, you see Nogs, behind the counter. And she is, dealing you out both drinks. When you walked in, she was like, "Oh, Mirai, I haven't seen you in so long." And, dealing you drinks and, you're both just kind of slamming them back.
On the one hand, I am absolutely trying to best my father in a competition of drinks. On the other hand, I am kind of on the clock. So I'm also I'm kind of just talking about work in that way where you get people to kind of commiserate with you. I'm kind of making shit up because I think my parents think I work at the docks, so I'm talking about dock work. Which, I mean, I know a lot of people at the docks, so it's not like I'm coming up with nothing, but I'm just talking and trying to get other people to chime in with their job.
Great.
Hey, everybody hates their job, right? Including my job at workplace. Hey!
But also, I should mention that I am absolutely drinking so much trying to defeat my father.
Let's see. I think...
Yeah, Sean, how do we actually gather information?
I think I'll get a fortune roll going to see if anyone chimes in from your kind of general talking. I feel like that is the best way to resolve that.
Okay.
The actual gameplay way to resolve.
Yeah. I'll go for, I think, 2 dice. This is it's kind of a cold shot, but also, if any place would be the place to do it, this would be the place to do it. Okay. Cool.
I hate when he doesn't tell us how he rolls.
I hate it when Sean's just like, yeah, that was a roll. It sucks so bad.
As you're kind of there for a while, you don't meet anyone, but as you're drinking, and kind of, carousing, Noggs comes by, walks over to your dad and goes, "Hey, have you heard anything about Taka recently?" And Sean pauses, waiting for Storm's dad to respond, forgetting that he is also Storm's dad.
You. He is you.
And Storm's dad responds to this other NPC that I made up in my mind. Not really, actually, hell, I don't think he's, left his home in a while. And she goes back to him. Yeah, he just, I've been worried about him ever since, came back from, where does he work again? That factory, I think he got, something on his arm. Yeah, oh, hell. And he turns to you, Storm, and he goes, and he like spins towards you, but he overcorrects a little too much, and he has to like spin back, and he goes, "Hey, this guy Tucker, works at the factory. I think the factory that you're talking about, Claremont House, the factory."
Said he hasn't been seen for a bit?
No, something about his arm, and now he's
Hey.
Yeah.
Where? You said he's been at his house? Where can I find him? Can I show up at this guy's house? His actual house? Where he lives?
You know what, actually, your ma is gonna, make him some food. I know he's having in hard times, been laid off because of the injury. So, you could, go by hers, pick it up, maybe deliver it for her?
Yeah. Sounds like a real good... No one has told me where he lives yet, though, so...
I think she will remember better than I will.
Alright, yeah. I don't think you're in a state to remember much of anything, old man.
He looks at you, and his kind of eyes are swimming, and then he focuses on you, and he goes, I have to work tomorrow.
Oh, no.
I head over to my ma's bar.
Yeah.
The fact that they work at 2 separate bars is so funny.
They work at 2 different bars. I like to imagine they were both factory workers, and then kind of, and they both realized, this sucks.
Factory work is hard.
Yeah, you find your mom. I think she's actually at home.
Okay.
Making the food. And she kind of gives you this package and tells you where to go.
Alright, thanks, Ma. And I start heading off that way.
And she gives you a big kiss on your forehead.
Alright.
It's embarrassing.
I love you too, Ma. I love you too.
I love ya.
I love my parents. So I follow the instructions I'm given, get to this man's house. His real, actual house. I knock.
Yeah, you hear kind of footsteps from inside, and he opens the door. You see that he has one arm free, and the other arm like in a sling and bandaged up.
Hey, I'm Mariah Cardera. My folks wanted to send over some food. We heard what happened.
Hey, Mirai, I'm good it's good to see you. Do you wanna come on in?
Yeah. Real rotten what happened to you. That I've heard bad things about that factory.
Yeah, not very jazzed about it either.
So,
And he kind of sits down.
Not to be rude or push or anything, but are they really not giving you, like, any kind of way to recover from the injury and come back?
They laid me off.
Okay.
So
So,
if that's that's kind of a way that I'm able to recover from it, is that I'm not working. And that's kind of what they did to me.
hey,
This guy is around your age, by the way.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I actually have a bit of a favor to ask you, and I would appreciate you not talking to my folks too much about this. But, work at the docks has been a bit rough. There's been some trouble going on down there, and it's kind of looking like I might need to seek new employment fast. And I know the factory ain't a good place, much less a great place, but they hire fast, don't they?
He kind of looks at you, and he looks around the room, and he looks back at you, and he goes, "Are you sure, Mirai? He looks down at his arm. I heavily don't suggest it.
I know. That's kind of why I don't want it be. I'm really hoping it'll just be a temporary thing while I can get any kind of job at a better place. But, I mean, you know how it is. We don't have the time or the luxury for me to take a leave of absence to figure some shit out."
He says to you, he goes, "Can you open that bag?"
Yeah, I do.
And he looks inside, and he sees, like a fork and a spoon, and he quickly runs over to the door, like, kind of grasping in his teeth, opens the door out, tosses them outside, and closes the door again, comes back to you, looks around again, kind of worried, and goes, "There's something wrong in that factory. I'm not just talking about the whole thing. I mean, this right here," and he kind of, like, gingerly touches his arm, and this is just, standard work, I guess. The chemicals they use are bad for the body, I'd say. But, the walls have eyes in that factory. I swear. I don't know how. Varin, the owner of it, he knows things."
What? I mean, just like in the way that a boss always seems to know when to come by when you're slacking? What are you talking about?
I mean, I thought it was that at first, but then, every time I slack off, suddenly there's, guards by me, here to encourage more work. Second I, then he kind of touches his arm again. I was laid off at the end of the day.
Huh.
It's worrying.
I can see why, it's not a great place to work, but man, is there any way I can help you? I know I keep asking for this favor, and I feel real bad about that. I want to make is there anything more I can do to help you out?
I think I'll be okay. I mean,
okay.
Mirai, why are you asking about all this? The docks can't be that bad.
It's
about to be Leviathan hunting season. I mean, the work's gonna be, off the charts. You'll make, overtime and then some.
It's not that there isn't work at the docks. It's that there is trouble there for me right now. I may have a few side hobbies down there that are not the most legal or approved of by the higher-ups, and they may have gotten wind of it.
He kind of looks at you slyly, and he goes, "Mirai, are you working with gangs?"
That's not the hobbies I'm talking about. That's not... Do you... Fuck. I look around to make sure that no one's, like, I don't know, listening or near.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been down by the fighting rings?
I not really. I knew some guys that used to frequent.
They are a thrill like no other. If you know.
Yeah, Yeah, I heard.
So I spend a lot of my time in, like I said, certain shadier corners of the docks.
You can fight?
Yeah, real well.
Oh well. I'd like nothing more than to see that factory crumble. But if you want to work there, I'm sure they got an opening. They do now. I guess I'll put in a good word for you.
You know, someday, those higher-ups, rich fucks, assholes, they'll get what's coming to them.
I hope they do.